The alien woman introduces herself as Serenya, an officer from a powerful star empire. She keeps staring at Evan like she is looking at a ghost. She claims Evan died 5 years ago during a major battle between humans and her empire. Evan insists he has never seen her before. Serenya shows Evan a hologram. It is him, wearing military armor, leading humans in the war. The hologram shows Evan dying in an explosion. Yet Evan remembers being a mechanic on Earth, not a soldier. He starts questioning his own past. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The twin suns of the alien desert hung low in the sky, casting long red shadows across the cracked ground. Evan Rowe moved slowly, wiping dust from his visor. His oxygen meter blinked a warning, but he tried to ignore it. The mission was simple. Explore the abandoned alien ruin, collect data, and return to base before nightfall. But nothing about this planet ever felt simple. The alien structure rose before him like a giant broken crown, half buried under sand. Its walls glowed faintly with blue symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. Evan didn't understand the language, but he understood danger. Something about this place felt wrong, like he was being watched. Still, he stepped forward. His boots echoed through the empty entrance tunnel. The air grew colder the deeper he went. Dust floated like tiny stars in the dim blue light. Every sound felt louder, sharper, almost amplified by the silence. Evan reached a large chamber. Strange machines lined the walls, some shattered, others still humming softly. A gentle vibration passed through the air, like a distant engine or a sleeping creature. He turned on his recorder. Exploration log, day 14. First contact with inner structure. Signs of old technology still active. No life forms. A soft metallic click cut him off. Evan froze. He wasn't alone. A shadow shifted behind one of the tall machines. Slowly, very slowly, a slender figure stepped out. She was tall, with pale silver skin, long dark hair tied behind her head, and glowing blue markings running along her arms. Her eyes, bright, sharp, and unblinking, locked onto his. An alien woman. She raised her weapon, but the moment her eyes fully focused on him, she stopped as if struck by lightning. The weapon slipped from her hands and clattered onto the floor. Her voice trembled, barely a whisper. This is impossible. She took one step closer, fear and shock mixing on her face. You are alive. Evan's heart hammered. He took a cautious step back. You know me? He asked. The alien woman shook her head slowly. No, not in denial, but in disbelief. I saw you die, she whispered. I watched your body burn in the flames. Evan blinked. Lady, I think you're confusing me with someone else. But the woman didn't believe that. Her hands shook as she approached him carefully, almost as if he were a ghost. My name is Serenya, she said. I am an officer of the Aerian Empire. And you were the human commander who almost ended the war. The one who united humans and Aerians in secret. The one who died 5 years ago. Evan's mind reeled. 5 years ago, Commander, war. He shook his head. I'm Evan Rowe. I'm a mechanic from Earth. I've never led anything. I've never been in a war. But Serenya stepped closer and studied his face with trembling fingers. The same face. The same scar near the eye. The same voice. She swallowed. You are him. Evan stepped away. No, I'm not whoever you think I am. Serenya didn't answer. Instead, she tapped a small device on her wrist. A blue hologram appeared, an image of a man in heavy armor leading soldiers into battle. The man was Evan. Same face. Same eyes. Same everything. Evan stared, unable to breathe. That's not me. The hologram shifted. It showed the same man caught in a giant explosion. His body was thrown across the battlefield. Flames covered him. Soldiers screamed. Then the recording cut to black. Serenya whispered, voice breaking, I saw your death with my own eyes. Evan stepped back until his spine touched a cold metal wall. His thoughts raced. Was he cloned? Was his memory wiped? Or was this some trick? Before he could ask more, the floor suddenly vibrated. Dust rained from the ceiling. Serenya's eyes widened. No, they found us. Evan frowned. Who? The memory hunters. Serenya grabbed her weapon and pulled him behind a pillar. They erase anyone who knows the truth about you. If they learn you are alive. She met his eyes. They will destroy the entire region. Evan felt cold fear spread through him. What truth? What am I? Serenya hesitated, torn between speaking and running. Before she could answer, the ruins shook violently. A deep, mechanical roar filled the chamber. A massive metal beast, half drone, half ancient guardian, crawled out from the shadows. Its 4 legs clanged against the floor. Red sensors scanned the room like hungry eyes. Evan whispered, "That doesn't look friendly." Serenya raised her weapon and shot a bright bolt of energy. The guardian roared and rushed toward them. "Run!" she shouted. Evan sprinted down a corridor as the guardian crashed through walls behind them. Serenya fired again and again, slowing it only for seconds. They reached a narrow passage. Serenya yanked open a panel and shoved Evan through. This way. He crawled through a tight tunnel, hearing metal claws scrape close behind. Just as the guardian lunged at him, Serenya triggered a collapse. The tunnel fell, blocking the creature with tons of rubble. Evan panted heavily. That was too close. Serenya didn't smile. She looked deeply troubled. "We must leave now." They climbed out through a broken ladder and emerged outside on the desert surface. But the relief lasted only a second. A giant shadow covered the ruins. Evan looked up, and his blood ran cold. A massive alien warship hovered above them. Its hull gleamed dark gold, covered in rotating rings and glowing symbols. It wasn't just a ship, it was a hunter. Serenya's voice dropped to a whisper filled with dread. "A memory hunter vessel." Evan swallowed. "And they're hunting me?" "No," she said. "They are hunting anyone who knows what you were." She glanced at him, "and what you still might be." The warship scanned the ground with beams of blue light. A rumbling vibration filled the air. Evan felt his bones buzzing. Serenya grabbed his arm. "We must go underground." "Why won't they just leave?" Evan asked, panic rising. "Because," she said quietly, "if you are truly alive, the Empire's greatest secret is exposed. And the war will collapse." Evan's breath caught. "What secret? Tell me." Serenya's eyes softened with pain. "If I tell you, your life will never be the same." Before he could push her for answers, the ship's cannons locked onto them. Serenya grabbed him and ran. "Move!" Blue plasma exploded behind them, throwing sand into the air. The ground shook as chunks of stone blasted upward. Evan nearly fell before Serenya pulled him again. They raced toward a collapsed ridge. Serenya pressed her hand to a hidden panel inside a rock. The ground split open, revealing a narrow underground entrance. "Go!" she ordered. Evan hesitated. "Come with me." "I will," she said, "but first." A bright beam from the warship struck the ground. The shock wave threw Serenya back. Evan reached for her, but she shook her head. "Evan," she screamed over the roaring wind. "You must survive. If they catch you, everything ends." He reached out again, but another blast forced him to stumble backward. The ground under him cracked, and he fell down the hidden passage. He fell for several seconds, landing hard on a cold metal floor. Dust filled the air. Above him, the entrance sealed. The world shook with distant explosions. Then silence. Evan lay there, breathing heavily, heart pounding. Darkness surrounded him, broken only by faint blue lines in the walls. Serenya was gone, and her final words echoed in his mind like thunder. "You were never supposed to be alive." Evan pulled himself up, trembling. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know what he had been. He didn't know why aliens thought he was dead. But one thing was clear. Whatever our truth Serenya almost told him, someone didn't want him to hear it. Someone wanted him erased from existence. Evan took a shaky breath. "I don't know what's happening," he whispered into the dark, "but I'm going to find out." He looked up at the sealed ceiling, where Serenya had been moments ago. Where the warship still searched for him. Evan stood. Darkness surrounded Evan as he slowly stood up inside the underground chamber. His breathing echoed in the silent space. The walls glowed faint blue, and the air was colder here. Everything felt ancient, untouched for years, maybe decades. But the one thought filling his mind was Serenya. Was she alive, or had the memory hunter ship taken her? Evan touched the sealed ceiling above him. His fingers brushed the rough metal. He knew one thing, the hunters still wanted him dead. And they weren't going to stop until they found proof he no longer existed. He took a deep breath and started walking down a narrow metal corridor. Each step echoed like a lonely drumbeat. Who am I really? Why do they think I died? Why did Serenya look at me like that? Questions circled in his head like a storm. After several minutes of walking, he reached a large hall. It was filled with strange floating machines, dead now, floating only because of the low gravity in the chamber. A long glowing platform stood at the center. Something lay on top of it. A cracked drone. Evan approached it carefully. Its lens flickered weakly, and the small device blinked red. He touched the blinking light. The drone whirred, trying to activate, then played a half-broken audio file. Target codename, Human Prototype 0, must be eliminated, original must never rise again. Static swallowed the rest. Evan froze. Prototype, original, eliminated, his throat tightened. Are they talking about me? Before he could think more, a soft shuffle came from behind him. He spun around, fists clenched. A shadow leaned against the doorway. Serenya. She was covered in dust, her left arm bleeding, her breathing heavy. But her silver eyes still held strength, and something like relief. "You're alive," she whispered. Evan rushed to her side. "I thought you. I escaped the first blast," she said with a weak smile. "But only just." He helped her sit on a low metal bench. She winced but nodded gratefully. "Serenya," Evan said softly, "you need to tell me the truth now." She looked away, fear and pain mixing in her expression. "The truth," she repeated quietly. "Yes, you deserve that." Evan sat beside her. "Start from the beginning." Serenya took a long breath. 5 years ago," she said, "a human commander appeared during the war. He was different, not like other humans. He understood Aerian technology instantly. He fought with impossible skill. He was a strategist no one could match." Her voice grew softer. "He stopped battles, saved civilians, saved us." Evan listened, confused but unable to look away. "At first," she continued, "our leaders feared him. They believed no human should have that much ability. So they created a plan to end the war using him, or destroy him." Evan's fists tightened. "What does that have to do with me?" Serenya looked into his eyes, trembling. "Because that commander was you." Evan shook his head instantly. "No, I was on Earth. I worked as a mechanic. I never left the planet." Serenya closed her eyes. "That is what they wanted you to believe." Evan felt the floor beneath him tilt. "What do you mean?" She pointed toward a sealed door on the opposite wall. "That room contains the old memory core. It was built to record the truth." "Your truth." Evan felt cold suddenly. "Why would they erase my memory?" he asked quietly. Serenya swallowed. "Because you tried to unite humans and Aerians. You tried to stop the war permanently. But someone powerful betrayed you. They wanted the war to continue. They wanted you gone." She looked away, shaking. "So they captured you, experimented on you, cloned you, and when the experiment failed, they tried to destroy everything and everyone connected to you." Evan stared at her, stunned. "So I'm, what, a clone?" Serenya looked at him, her eyes sharp and sure. "No, you are the original, the real Evan Rowe, the commander who survived an explosion no one else could." His breath caught. "How do you know?" "Because a clone would not have your instincts. A clone would not react the way you do. And the old technology in these ruins responded to you." Serenya placed her hand on his arm. "Only the original could do that." Evan looked down at his shaking hands. Nothing made sense, yet it all felt familiar. Deep in his bones, something old and powerful stirred. His lost past. "Show me the memory core," he said. Serenya nodded slowly. "Very well, but once you see it, nothing can be undone." They walked toward the sealed door. Serenya pressed her palm against the panel. Blue light scanned her hand, then the door slowly slid open with a deep metallic sigh. Inside was a circular chamber with a large sphere floating in the center. Lines of light moved across its surface like living threads. It hummed softly, like a machine breathing. "This," Serenya whispered, "will show you everything." Evan stepped forward and placed his hand on the glowing sphere. At first, nothing happened. Then the chamber lit up with blinding blue light. Images flashed around him. He saw himself standing before soldiers, both humans and Aerians, speaking with confidence and power. He saw himself learning alien technology as if he'd known it since birth. He saw himself saving lives, ending battles, protecting both sides. He saw himself and Serenya fighting together, laughing together, arguing together. And then, he saw betrayal, his own commanders, alien generals, secret councils, a bomb exploding, his body thrown into fire, soldiers screaming his name. Evan gasped and stumbled back, nearly falling. Serenya caught him. "It was all real," he whispered. I was him." Serenya nodded sadly. "Yes, and now they fear what you might do if you return." Before Evan could breathe, the ground shook violently. The chamber lights flickered. A deep roar echoed from above. Serenya's face went pale. "They've found us again." The ceiling cracked. Dust fell like rain. The memory hunter vessel was drilling into the ground. "They're coming," Evan shouted. Serenya pulled him toward another exit. We must leave now. The ceiling burst open as a massive claw tore through the metal. Drones descended, their red eyes glowing. Evan grabbed a metal rod as a drone attacked. Without thinking, he spun and struck the drone's sensor. It exploded in sparks. Another drone fired at them. Evan moved faster than he ever had before. His body reacted instantly, without thought, like old training returning after years of sleep. He rolled behind a pillar and smashed a control panel, activating ancient defenses in the ruins. Blue energy beams shot out, destroying several drones. Serenya stared at him in shock. "You are awakening," she whispered. Evan didn't stop to think. He grabbed her hand. "Come on." They ran through a collapsing tunnel as more drones poured in. The hunter ship's drilling arm broke through the ceiling, sending rock and metal flying. At the far end of the hall, a circular exit sealed with a strange emblem glowed faintly. Serenya aimed her weapon and blasted the seal. The door cracked open. "Go!" she shouted. Evan ran through. Serenya followed, but a drone tackled her from behind. She screamed as it pinned her to the ground. "Serenya!" Evan turned back. "Go!" she yelled. "They want you." But Evan didn't move. Not this time. Not again. He sprinted back, grabbed the drone, and ripped its power core out. It fell lifeless beside her. He pulled Serenya to her feet. She stared at him, breathless. "You saved me," she said softly. "I won't let them take anything else from me," he answered. They ran through the open door as the entire chamber collapsed behind them. Outside, they emerged into the desert night. The sky burned with falling debris from the hunter ship. The warship was taking damage, but still alive. Serenya pointed toward a glowing structure in the distance. "That is the old defense tower. If you activate it, the hunter ship will be destroyed." Evan nodded and sprinted toward the tower. Serenya stayed behind, firing at drones chasing them. Evan reached the tower and placed his hand on the control panel. It lit up instantly. Recognition. The tower had once belonged to him. He triggered the defense system. A giant beam shot into the air, striking the hunter ship. The ship shuddered, cracked, and exploded in a bright flash that lit the entire sky. Silence followed. Evan walked back to Serenya. She looked at him with awe and a hint of something deeper. "You truly are the original," she said quietly. "The one they feared." Evan looked at the burning sky. "I was someone before," he said. "Someone strong. Someone who tried to stop a war." Serenya placed her hand on his shoulder. "And you can be him again." Evan nodded. "Then it's time," he said softly. "I'm going to finish what I started." Serenya lowered her head respectfully. "I will follow you," she said. "Wherever this path leads." Evan looked at the distant horizon, where a human fleet twinkled like distant stars. His future, his past, everything was waiting for him. And